we go. Welcome to my channel. Today I was tagged by Penny and Books to do a reading habits tag. So I basically just used the questions that she had in her tag video. I'll link her channel in the description down below so you can check out her channel. She's really cool and she has the cutest hair. So I'm just throwing that out there. But okay, let's just get started. Number 1, do you have a certain place at home for reading? Not really. I have 3 kids. I'm an older booktuber. So I read on the couch. I read at the kitchen table, at my desk. I'll read outside if it's pretty. Or a lot of the time, every single day actually, every day before bed, I will read with my book light before bed. I have like a special place. My husband calls it Snuggle Mountain because there's like so many pillows and so many comfy things, and I just kind of sit up and read for maybe like an hour before bed, and that's just it helps me sleep so much. It's so relaxing, and I get most of my reading done then. So I don't really have like a special place, but I guess like one special place for reading, but that is a special place for me, is I guess Snuggle Mountain. Number 2, bookmark or a random piece of paper. I actually use a bookmark. I collect bookmarks. If you guys are interested in seeing my bookmark collection, it is pretty small, but I will film that one for you. Right now I'm using an Alice in Wonderland bookmark in my book, and I don't know where it is right now, or else I'd show you. It's probably in my car. Alright, number 3, can you just stop reading, or do you have to finish a chapter or a certain number of pages? That one is really difficult for me. I guess it just depends on the book, because I prefer to finish a chapter, or I give myself a goal. I'm like, hey, I'm going to read 100 pages today, or this many pages today. But I've noticed that I'm reading a Song of Ice and Fire series right now, and I'm on the 3rd book, A Storm of Swords. And some of the chapters are pretty short and some of them are fairly long. So I'll have to just, put it down in the middle of a chapter if I have to. Like if I have to get up and like tend to a kid, or if I need to clean something up, take the animals out, or if my phone's ringing. But when I was working, we could read at our job, but then when the phone rang, I always put my phone, like my book away, and sometimes I would have to stop in the middle of a chapter then. But I try to always make sure that I finish the chapter, because it's like an incomplete thought. I don't like not finishing a chapter. It drives me nuts. Do you eat or drink while reading? Eat, no. It's really hard for me to eat while I'm reading, because it's like my brain wants to focus on what I'm eating and how good it is and the chewing part of it. But I feel like I have to reread things more when I'm eating while I'm reading. But otherwise, drinking, yes. I drink tea all the time while I'm reading. Tea, water, I always have to have water with me, and coffee. Sometimes coffee. I used to drink about a pot of coffee a day, but now I only drink maybe 1 cup of coffee a day, maybe 2, and I just drink tea most of the time. I don't know, I've become an addict. Do you watch TV or listen to music while reading? No. I don't listen to music while I'm reading, because, if my favorite song comes on, I'm gonna jam to it. But TV, sometimes. I have kids, they like to watch TV, or they like to watch YouTube, so sometimes that will be in my background noises, and I've learned how to just read with the background noise if I need to. But otherwise, when I'm reading, like, in the bed or something, or if it's just me during the day, like awake while the kids are taking a nap, I don't read with any background noise if I can help it. So 1 book at a time or several at once. I used to be able to read several books at once. It just depends on the book for me. Like right now, the Song of Ice and Fire series, I feel like I should just devote my time to that book or that book series, because like I read the first 2 and I took a break. I read 2 other books, and then now I'm reading the 3rd one, but I can't imagine reading another book while I'm trying to read that book, because there's a lot going on in those series. Like there's a lot going on, and I don't want to confuse one plot line with another plot line, especially in that book. So for now, no, I'm just reading one book at a time. I also don't like leaving things like unfinished. It feels like I'm leaving it unfinished if I like read a third of one book and then I just pick up another book just to start reading that. Like, I don't like doing that. So most of the time I just read the whole book and then I pick up the other book and then start that one. So reading at home or everywhere? Everywhere. Like, I'll read in the grocery store line because sometimes there'll be someone in front of me with a ton of coupons and it takes forever. So I'll read in the grocery store line, or I'll read while I'm waiting and like for a doctor's appointment or for an oil change, or sometimes if I have to sit in the car and wait while my husband goes in the store and gets something real quick, like I'll read there. I can literally read anywhere and everywhere. My book is usually always with me, and right now it's in the car, so I feel a little naked without it. Okay, so reading out loud or silently in your head. I typically read silently in my head unless there is a paragraph or even a few sentences that's really confusing for me. Like, I kind of have to read it out loud and break it down just to understand what the author was trying to say. But most of the time, I typically read just in my head. I don't really need to read out loud. Do you read ahead or even skip pages? Normally I don't. I just kind of read and just see where the story takes me, but during the Song of Ice and Fire series, Game of Thrones, I'm sorry, whatever. It's like, people who don't read the books know it as Game of Thrones, and people who do read the books know it as A Song of Ice and Fire. But with that one, like, I was really loving the chapters with Daenerys in it because it was just pretty interesting, and I loved how her story was starting to come together. And I would read her chapter and then look ahead and see when she had another chapter again, because her chapters were very far in between at first, and so I just like to see where she would come up again. And in the second book, when I don't want to leave, like, I want this to be spoiler free, but in the second book, something tragic happened. Like, Theon did something terrible, and I was looking like, oh, this can't possibly be true. Is this person really dead? Are they dead? So I had to like look ahead and see if they were really dead or not. But other than that, I don't skip ahead. So do you break the spine or do you try to keep it like new? I try so hard to keep a book looking like new. If you watched any of my previous videos, you know that I had a struggle with the paperbacks of A Song of Ice and Fire because they're so chunky, they're small, and when you read them, it's like impossible to read the words in like the crack of the book or in the spine of the book without having to open it more because of how small and chunky they are. So those books unfortunately have cracked spines. It makes me really sad. So that's why I went out and I bought the leather-bound versions of the book. So it's like a hardback leather-bound version of it. The set cost me like $75. So a good present to myself. But I went out and I got the set of A Song of Ice and Fire in the leather-bound series because that way I wanted to have a really nice set on my shelf, so I wouldn't feel so bad about the spines being broken for the paperbacks. I do see that they made the paperbacks like larger. They made them like taller. So I feel like that would probably help a lot with the spines not cracking as much. Unfortunately, I have the older print ones. The same cover, but it's like the older one in the box set where they're still small and stout. But Barnes & Noble has the tall ones right now, so you can prevent that from happening. Do you write in your books? No, I don't write in my books. The only time I have ever written in my books was in high school and in college when I had to write notes in the in any type of space that would allow me to write notes. And because I had an English teacher where she required you to write notes in your book, and I felt so strange doing that. So some of the books on my shelf do have handwritten notes in them, but it's just because of that reason, because I don't know why we couldn't just write notes outside the book, but she thought that it was better to have it in the book, keep it right there, but I felt like I was defacing it, so it made me really uncomfortable. But it's whatever, I'm not in high school anymore, that was like 10 years ago, so whatever. College, been there, I'm done with that, graduated, so I don't have to write in my books no more if I don't want to, so bam. Hey guys, this is Liko. So I wasn't going to film this video today, but I got a package in the mail.